Okay, this is the first for me, first for the channel. A viewer asked for this on this particular vehicle right here, the HoBao Hyper SSTE. He wants me to do a video how to access the front, center, and rear diff and how to change the oil. Wow, a wrenching video, first for the channel. Okay, everyone, so you know me, I'll take a challenge. Welcome back, everyone. So today, this is the first wrenching video that was requested, first on a specific vehicle, and a first on how to access front, center, and rear diff of any vehicle anybody's ever asked me. So this request came from a guy who watched a post on this particular vehicle that was posted a year ago, and that video was the unboxing and first run of the Hyper SSTE from HoBao. 5 days ago, he left a comment on that video asking me if I can do a video to show how to access the front, center, and rear diff. That's what we're going to do. I think he's getting into the hobby. I'm not too sure. I think this might be one of the vehicles he's looking at. And my suggestion to you is, sir, when you do start this process on changing the oil out, until you get comfortable with it, until you get used to it, take pictures of how it looks at the beginning. Take pictures midway, meaning after you take the shock front bumper off, take pictures, see where the screws are going to go at. Take pictures and then keep taking pictures. And then lay out your screw, organize your screws in a way where it comes off, you lay it here, it comes off, you lay it here, it comes off, you lay it here, it comes off, you lay it here. Organize it that way. So that way when you start putting it in reverse, you start from the further screw out or sets of screws to put it back until you get to the shocks. Do that for the front, center, and rear, and you shouldn't have any problem. But again, take pictures of it, right? And besides me showing you that, how to access and change the diff oils on this particular vehicle, I'm also going to do a comparison of the center diff only of Team Corrale's Kronos XTR center diff, Arma Outcast EXB center diff, HoBao Hyper SSTE original center diff, because this is not the original. This is their HD diff. It's called the Spider. And then the Spider center diff. You guys will understand why I'm doing this, and you'll understand why I say this. I think these are the toughest gears on the market. Let me stop rambling on. Let me get this video started. So let me bring you over here, facing this direction so you can see what I'm doing in drift locks. Hope this helps you out, man. All right, let's get the center diff off first. And we'll work our way back to the front and rear. Remember where you put the screws at. Remember what goes where. If you don't, you're gonna put one screw in where it doesn't belong, and it's gonna be too long or too short. So this whole thing comes out, all this out, so that way I don't have to mess around. You guys have noticed, HoBao uses a lot of screws for the diff, especially the center diff. All right, if you notice, HoBao has a rubber O-ring to go over there inside the diff, especially the center diff. Gasket in it to keep everything sealed in. All right, so I've got all center diffs out from Team Corrale, Kronos XTR, HoBao Hyper MT Sports Plus, HoBao SSTE. This is the updated one. This is what they call the Spider gear. SPIDER, gear housing, gears, and then Outcast EXB. So let's take a look at a few things. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You guys can see the difference. There's a big difference between Team Corrale, HoBao's normal gearing, HoBao's Spider gearing, and then Arma EXB. Those are some beefy gears from HoBao. Really, really beefy gears from HoBao. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that is some awesome stuff right there. That's why they have that distinct sound. Now, as far as the other gears, almost pretty much the same, how they are as far as thickness. But again, HoBao's normal one is a little bit thicker, not by much. Spider gear you can't compare because it's a totally different animal. And again, Armor EXB gear, what they call it, limited slip differential gears. And here's HoBao again. This is their normal gearing here out of the HoBao Hyper MT Sports Plus. You can pretty much interchange a lot of these gears, guys. But yeah, no, actually, this is the old gearing from the SSTE, but it's called the Hyper MT. Now the Spider gears are a little bit smaller, about the same as EXBs, a little bit wider, smaller than about the same. Let's say about the same as Team Corrales. But the main difference is their main gearing. That is real thick. So let me go ahead and put the oil in here, put it back in the center, and I'll show you how to break down the front and rear and look at that real quick. Bring you guys back when I'm done. Diagonal, so 12, 6, 1, 2, 8, 4, and 10. We're trying to make sure that rubber seal around here is good. Okay, I'm gonna have to loosen these up a little bit. You don't want that rubber seal popping out like that. As you can see there, rubber seal's popping out. You don't want that happening. You cut it, and you have a damaged seal, and you have leaks. And if you see your seals protruding out like a bulge, loosen it up, set it in there again, and then tighten it down. You don't want to tighten it too tight because they will bulge out. So you want to know how you know you have this on here correctly. Second mount, thumb holders, I just call them thumb placements or finger placements. It should be on the bottom. So that way everything sits nice and tight. Again, remember where these screws go at for the motor mount. Short ones, if you're looking at it this way, short ones on the right hand side. All right, I'm going to do an easy way to get off the shocks. So stick it here, apply some pressure, pops out. Stick it here, apply some pressure, pops out. That's all you need to do. Don't need to unscrew it. So in order to get to it works both ways. To get to the rear and front diff, this is the process you need to do. You need to remove the screws here, remove these two screws, loosen this up because there's two inserts that they sit in. And if you don't loosen this up, it's gonna be kind of hard to take off the cover. So loosen these two, remove these two, loosen these up to take the sway bar off and take off these two, and you should have access. Let me show you. Don't forget, you just gotta loosen these two. Don't have to remove them, just loosen them. All right, we'll remove these two. Just makes it easier for you guys. You don't really have to remove them. You can loosen it up to a point where you can pull this out, not have any issues, that's fine too, but I'm just gonna do it the easy way so he understands, the process. Loosen these for the sway bar. Right there at 1.5. Where's my 1.5? Loosen those up. And your sway bars, covers, move those out of the way so it makes it a lot easier. Once that's done, last thing you gotta do, remove these two screws here. Again, the same thing up front. Same process up front, and this removes. I will tell you this, the tolerance for the diff housing case for HoBao, you don't need any shims. There's no shims in here, everyone, and there's no play at all. That's another reason why I like HoBao's product. The quality of the build, chassis, shock towers, A, B, C, and D blocks all metal, except for the inside portion, that's plastic because it's hooked up to the back. But it's good quality. So yeah, once you remove those, pull it out. It's not hard. Pull your diff out. 4 screws. Take the 2.0. All right, so once you got it apart, set it upside down, let the oil drain. Take and make sure your gasket on your gears, your gasket for the diff, they're good on both of them, front, rear, and center, all three, front, rear, and center. Any cracks, any tears, you're gonna have to replace it. Pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure that your bearings are still rolling smoothly and freely, no hiccups. Don't be lazy cleaning your gears. People say, well, my gear just went to bed on me and you know, I don't know why it is. And they open it up and they haven't cleaned it. When they change out, they just keep adding, dropping, or letting it drain to a point where there's very little oil in the gear housing, in the gears. Then they just add, and you still have old diff oil inside the housing and on the gears. And the more you keep doing it, the more it adds up, the thicker it gets, the slower your gears work and everything else. Get an old toothbrush, clean the gears. You don't have to be spotless. Just want to get majority of the old stuff off it. And yes, I get these rags for dollar store, and these one I use until they're all black. And make sure you got every piece for your gears. If you don't, you're gonna end up tearing something up. All right, make sure everything's clean, everyone. I mean, you can't, if you do a yearly cleaning, because you know you run your cars more than 20 times, I'd suggest to get a sonic cleaner. Just a suggestion. Makes it a lot easier, makes life a lot easier. And again, another thing I like about HoBao, they have these, how you put your gear in, they have these little notches right there. You just orientate where it's supposed to go at, how it's supposed to go, and you drop it in there. That does not move. That stays right where you put it at. Same thing for the other one. Find out the orientation, set it in there, drop it in there. See how easy that is? Stays in place. 30,000, and then I do the same thing with this as I do with all my vehicles. I've not changed it all. So again, I'm using 30,000 in the rear, 50,000 up front, 500,000 because it was spider gears. I don't really need to put $1 million in there. And anyway, $1 million be too thick. 500,000 in the center, so. All right, let's put this back together. Again, I squeeze. See if I see any oil popping out of the holes, and I don't. I'm good to go. 2.0, here we go. 10 turns, 10 turns, 3 o'clock, 4. All right, and she's good. 30,000 up here in the rear. Everything else is still original except for the chassis. Chassis is the one that got damaged. The chassis is the one that got damaged when I hit that curve at 67 miles an hour. So the chassis got replaced. Everything else is original. Again, I just love how everything it just fits in here. The tolerance on these, again, no movement there at all. And I hope the gentleman who's asked me to do this is knowing that this is not very difficult to do, it's very easy. You just gotta pay attention to how you set everything back in it. Make sure you got your gears going in the same direction. Put this back together. Like I said again, the process for the front is the same, there's no difference. Put the screws back in on your diff cover. And the screws that go back into your, goes all the way through A, B, and C block. Sway bars back on. Flip her over. Watch how that gap disappears here in a second. So, see how the gap kind of lessens. All right, tighten it down by hand. You put the screw back in the back. Put your top back plate back on. How you know you got the top plate on the correct way? This is for the air filter. This is for an air filter holder if this was a nitro. So this has got to be up front to include the notch. Put that in there. All screws in the back. Shocks, don't forget the shocks. Almost did. Again, they just snap in there. I said again, same thing for the front, everyone. You need a 2.0, son. Like so. Alrighty. So as you can tell, these two notches sit inside these two notches here. Once it's set in there, as you can tell, this is fresh grease. It's not old, it's not dirty. I just replaced this not too long ago, so I don't need to replace this oil, but again, this is like a normal diff now. You got the 4 screws. Again, once you get everything cleaned up, make sure when you put everything back together, you don't have any leaks. In HoBao, you don't really need spacers or shims. Their diff housing cover is exact. There's no play, there's no movement, no nothing in it. So once you got everything in there, you're good to go. But yeah, this has to sit in that notch. So once you put everything in there, make sure it's secured. There we go. Hear that pop, both sides, and it sits in there. If you don't mind working on a good piece of product, HoBao is it. All right, everyone, I hope I didn't put you to sleep. I hope I kept your attention, and I hope you guys learned something from about HoBao, and I hope you learned why I'm saying what I'm saying. HoBao makes some of the best products out there. You don't hear me say that about a lot of things, but the way that every part is designed on all HoBao's vehicles, shock towers, suspension arms, a lot more flex, shocks, chassis, how everything is, laid out and easy to access. It's amazing. But my whole thing about this is the gears. I have not had any issue with any gears with any HoBao truck that I've had so far. And I've got 3 of them so far. Well, got a few more coming in, because again, this might be taking #1 place. Armor might be #2 now. I'm just saying, if things keep rolling the way it's rolling, this is gonna be #1. I do think that HoBao's center diff, especially their HD diff, their spider gears, are awesome. You can say what you want to say, but that's just my opinion, okay? Now, this is what I need for you to do in the comments below. Leave your comments below on what your thoughts are. Do you think HoBao's HD gears, center diff gear, are the toughest compared to Team Corrali and Armor? You can compare it to the HoBao original gears that come in their 8th scale vehicles, but I still think that even those are tougher than Armor and Team Corrali. Just my opinion, everyone. You can hate me if you want to, but those are my thoughts and my opinion. Okay, everybody have their own, right? All right, drift lock, like I said again, take pictures when you start to the end. Lay your screws out in an organized way, so when you do start all over again, putting everything together, you start from the last one you took apart until you get to the shocks for the front and rear. And again, pay attention to how you set in the motor mounts and the support mount for your motor. Don't forget to put in those additional brackets that go underneath, and the orientation of where the holder for the air filter is supposed to go. All right, everyone, so you know the deal. I'm just surprised again that somebody asked for that. If you guys want to see more wrench videos, me wrenching on my vehicles, doing mods to my vehicles, or anything if there's anything specific that you want to see on the channel, leave it in the comment below. See if I can do a video for you, all right? But again, leave your comments below what you think about Armor's EXP, HoBao's original, Team Corrali's XTR, their big boy hitter, center diff, and the Spider. Which one do you think is the strongest out of all of those? Let me go ahead and stop talking. I'm pretty sure this is a long video in the first place. So you know the deal. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's all I'm asking you to do. Me and the Hyper SSTE from HoBao, we're out. Let me go ahead and top these off and put them back in the vehicles and put them back on the rack for another run. It's coming up soon. I'm out.